Weekend Wednesday reading notes. Book Radical Markets, 17 September 2025. So here I, Tanis Coralee of Seattle, recap my reading for today, Wednesday, 17 September 2025, of Radical Markets, Uprooting Capitalism and Democracy for a Just Society by Eric A. Posner and E. Glen Weyl, May 2018, Princeton University Press edition, hardcover, ISBN in the video description. Specifically focusing on what I read in chapter 5. So I read started page 201 and read through page 240. And so I finished chapter 4 and started chapter 5, and I'm like 9-10 pages away from finishing chapter 5. So I was like, this is a good one to provide a little maybe cover. And so I'm covering it in a notes video. And the name of the chapter 5, is Data as Labor, and it's talking about the internet, and it talks about social media. It mentions YouTube. It talks about artificial intelligence and machine learning and neural networks. And so I was like, maybe I should kind of, per what they say in the book, how would I describe artificial intelligence and machine learning? Because I have coding background, I have computational physics background, that kind of thing. I was like, okay, I have my experience, but this is kind of it's a business book. So there's a little bit more of it's more approachable than my background. So can I take it and take it one step down and kind of see if I can put it in different terms, and then say essentially the coding for artificial intelligence and machine learning I've encountered in science for processing satellite data. It's not really, as described in this book, it's not actually any different than that. So I was reading it, and I was like, oh, this is like this software program or this software program, only they use the term neural networks because instead of processing satellite data or crystallography data, so X-ray data from crystal scans, it takes and it processes data on the internet to try and mimic a human brain. And essentially there's all of these different levels in a code, and the different levels are it takes an observation, puts it through kind of a filter, and it outputs kind of an interpretation. And so it's multi-layered interpretations, and then different levels can be different levels of interpretation. And so it essentially goes into that, and then artificial intelligence and machine learning, it needs constant data supply. And so it goes into a little bit of the data as labor part is people on the internet making money by being producing data. And so this book talks about different concepts, and then kind of puts an idea out there and kind of talks through it of what would be radical. And so for them, for this particular setting, they're saying, why not pay the people who consume? So on YouTube, that would be the people who watch the videos. Pay the people who watch the videos to watch the videos. And so they go, the radical part there, or the kind of concerning part with that idea is it may take away from the entertainment value of the viewing or consuming experience, and it also highlights or makes more transparent the economic relationship between the viewer and the person putting the content out. And I was like, it doesn't quite go into what that relationship is, that economic relationship, because take me for example. I don't make money off of this content. I don't make money off of my YouTube channel. I'm a non-monetizer. So for me, I'm well, I don't make any money. So that entire concept doesn't quite apply to me, and I'm not taking your data and working with it to sell it or anything like that. So for my own business practices with my YouTube channel, it doesn't apply to me. Okay. However, I was I think that what they're trying to imply is essentially the person would be paying somebody to watch the video because they want the data generated, they want the person's reaction. So and so I kind of, in reading it, I kind of or something like that. And so in reading it, I was kind of is that part of why things are so antagonistic these days? Is essentially AIs, like part of the business model is it needs reactions. So the content that artificial intelligence and machine learning generates actually is deliberately antagonistic to ruffle feathers to get more data. It's like, but if that's true, that's really narrow in scope. Human reactions are far more diverse than that. And if antagonism is taken away, then you start to get the actual, like, real natural reactions. So if that's true, that's great news. Artificial intelligence won't ever be able to predict any of us individually, much less collectively. So there was that positive. And if I were to, so then can I reiterate what is artificial intelligence? Essentially, it's computational, technological, a very fancy selection criteria or way of picking things through kind of multiple levels of observation and interpretation per data, available data. So, there we go. This is my Weekend Wednesday reading notes, book Radical Markets, 17 September 2020.